All of us reach a point in time where we are depleted and need to somehow find a way to reignite the fire within. But how do we spark that flame? Welcome to Reignite Resilience, where we will venture into the heart of the human spirit. We'll discuss the art of reigniting our passion and strategies to stoke our enthusiasm. And now, here are your hosts, Natalie Davis and Pamela Cass.
A lot of sales out there, which is all about how to twist people's arm, get people to the yes. And that's just, it was always stinky and gross to me. Yeah. So we wound up pretty much taking what does work, rejecting what doesn't, and filling the gaps. And we created what's called conscious closing. Like, how do you sell without ever having to use manipulation tactics to get someone who wants to say yes to say yes, to get somebody who wants to say no to say no, and really devising systems around that. And it's evolved over the last many years since then.
Wow.
I love that.
Okay, so conscious closing.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you share anything about that with us?
I certainly can. So again, the premise is it's just trying to help get people clear on what they ultimately want and helping them say yes if they want to say yes, helping them say no if they want to say no. That's the primary objective of conscious closing. Really what that looks like is, how do you ask the right people the right questions to find out what their desire is? Yeah. And once you're clear with their desire, the next step from there is figuring out what is keeping them from having what they want. Like, what do they already know is stopping them from what they want? What do you know is stopping them from what they want? Combining those concepts together. And then, I mean, I could give a whole seminar on it, but the short version would be, once you know what somebody wants, if you can help them, at that point, you present your services in another format we created, which is called the duh offer. Your services have to be a duh. They have to be a no-brainer for people who you're meant to help. And there's a whole way to message that. And it's another fun conversation, but it's like, how do you present them with what we call a duh offer, where they just go, duh, of course, this is what I want.
Why wouldn't I do this? Yeah.
Yeah. I told you I want this, therefore give it to me. The mistake people make is they go, I got something, you want to hear about it? And it's like, oh, no. Yay, unsolicited advice. Thanks. That's what I want.
Right.
You know, how do we elicit them? They tell us to tell them about our services and our program. Yeah. And if they're a no, celebrate it. I love, my favorite line in the world is like, hey, by the way, if this is no at any point, please just let me know. And like, let's see if I can connect you with the right person. It's like my favorite. Let's just get someone to a no, get someone to a yes. And in this way, you get clients that stay for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
So you're helping them get clarity, understand what it is they need. And then you basically are giving them the solution for what it is that they're needing, which, no one would say no to that.
Yeah, precisely. And that's the cool thing with sustainable businesses. We teach it. It's like, you simply just solve a problem somebody's already struggling with, and you do it well, and you do it consistently. And we do it, we call it consciously, with integrity, based off of service, based off of these kind of sustainable principles. And as opposed to we call it bro marketing. Everyone listening to this knows what you just flick on your phone, all the ads you see, we're at $3 billion to next 30 days or your money back, all this.
Check out any of your social media feeds and just keep swiping. You'll see it.
You'll see all of those things. And if you order now, you're going to
exactly. But wait, there's more. There's more things that you don't want. You just keep listening.
Absolutely. Well, okay, I'm looking behind you. You've got all these guitars. I know you are a musician. So did you do that before you became a monk? Was this something that happened during that journey? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, grateful to say I've been participating in music since I was a wee little lad. My parents put me in piano lessons. I rejected it, but eventually, came back as a teenager and got into music because music is such a fascinating language that everyone speaks. No one doesn't like music. I don't like the negative. Everyone likes music. It doesn't, the type of music changes from person to person. Everyone likes music. And there's a way in which without any even language, English or whatever language you might be using, you can convey and communicate things through the vehicle of music that arguably couldn't even communicate through just a language itself. And I always found that fascinating. What to speak of it just being an emotional kind of release and a healthy way to process my emotions, because there's a lot of other options of processing my emotions that let's say aren't as sustainable as music. And from there, it actually inclined me to become a monk because of my desire for music. One of the amazing practices from the ancient wisdom literature is called kirtan, which literally means mantra. We can call it musical mantra meditation. What that means, you chant mantras or these ancient sound vibrations that reawaken the true self, that free the mind, that actually allow us to pause from our conditioning and witness us for who we really are beyond just the temporary body we're in, the temporary mind we're situated with, and actually perceive ourselves as the unit of consciousness that we are, the spirit, soul, whatever term we want to give, the thing that's you, that's watching the body change, the thing that's you that watches the thoughts of the mind and can change the thoughts of the mind, connect with that person. And we do it with the vehicle of rhythm and melody. And you take music and you add mantras on it. And in this way, it makes it very easy for the mind, because the mind is most receptive to sound. Sound carries consciousness. That's why right now, if people are listening to this and an ambulance drives by, they're going to have to pull their attention, which is naturally going to the siren, back to our voices. Yeah. It's because sound carries consciousness. And so to the extent that we can, that's why also we use an alarm clock to wake up and not a oil diffuser. Because it's sound that grabs us. Yeah. And so in the same way, when we start to put good sound vibrations in, or these mantras in, especially when they're accompanied by some rhythm and some melody, not only does it allow it to actually go in, because sometimes sitting there and meditating can become very difficult for most of us. So not only did it actually allow the meditation to happen, but it makes it very fun and it makes it sustainable. Again, I hear say this word a lot because I'm a big fan of, if you can't do it sustainably, question even doing it at all. And therefore, it inclined me to actually become a monk, where I could spend time every day. Every day we would do some types of musical mantra meditation, aka kirtan.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. I love that.
Definitely far out, that's for sure.
Exactly. We're talking about the vibration of, and so there's just being able to carry that through with everything. So if we fast forward to where you are today, because you have taken your own journey to discover your purpose and how you're going to continue to serve moving forward. Well, at least this season, we don't know moving forward. It can transform in the future. But then you had other healers and workers that reached out to you to ask, how are you doing it? What's happening? And I imagine this is what sparks the marketing training that you really shift to. And again, we don't necessarily place that in the spiritual work platform. Like that's not, it's like, we're going to talk about marketing and conscious closing and all of that. But tell us how you're working with your clients now. What does that look like?
Yeah, well, I will say I love and loved fully focusing on just the holistic support. But really, again, it came down to I could help individuals, which arguably I could train them in it and they would go help others. But there's a way in which in order for people to really make an impact, they have to support themselves. I mean, there is that age-old cliche of the town healer who's like struggling, and there's this cliche of spiritualists and healers and et cetera. And not only do I want to change that narrative, because it does not have to be that case. And I did the thing people say you can't do, but it's another limiting belief. And as soon as we accept that identity, I'm just a healer, I just got to live a simple life. It's like, yeah, you're going to make that reality. And so what was happening is, so many people coming to me, even clients that I was working with, they're like, wait, but I want to do something like this. And like, I've trained and I've done all my certification. I do it for free and like as a service on the side. But like, by the way, I hate my job and like hate my life because of it. So, and it's like, I'm sitting here like with a key. I hope you understand my intention. It sounds a little audacious, but I feel like I'm sitting here with the keys that unlocks all these doors. And it would just be so lame and unintegral for me to not share. And so I wound up just spending time talking to people, talking to friends about it. And then they were getting crazy results. And then the first time I went, maybe I should do this, is I helped someone and they became so successful just with relatively minimal effort. Just like, just do this, do that, do this, do that. And they did it. And they were so successful that they just came like, they didn't actually plot money on, but they sent me a big chunk of change without any prompt, just out of, and I was like, whoa. And that chunk of change, which was like nothing compared to what I just had to make,
Yeah.
was like definitely more than I was making with the other services also.
Yeah.
And I realized, okay, there's something to this. And there's a way in which it's sustainable because if I can help someone make more,
Yep.
we can ride that wave together on an
Mm-hmm.
indefinitely, let's just say. And so I
Mm-hmm.
realized, okay, the way I can do this on an ongoing basis is help people who have something to give. And they're
Yeah.
not meant to become great marketers. Like they're meant to be healers and they're
Yes.
meant to be,
Yep.
wellness professionals and health experts and coaches. Like I don't want them to have to learn this. I just want them to do their thing where I come
Mm-hmm.
in and me and my team, we do all the stuff they don't want it and they shouldn't be doing anyway.
Yeah.
And in this way, actually allow them to serve because I know
Awesome.
that's all I wanted when I was running my
Yeah.
health and wellness business, and it took me long enough to figure out how to get it. And so
Yeah.
eventually, and then, yeah, before I knew it, I spent most of my time there. And then I'm grateful to say, we have quite a full calendar,
That's
um,
awesome.
helping people do it. And the rest is history.
Beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that.
Well, and I think that that narrative that you referenced to, for our listeners that are not aware, I think that there is kind of this belief out there that there's, this group of broke healers. They're not broken. They are fabulous. They're
That's
talented. They are
broke.
gifted. They have a talent. They're just broke. And it's, again, when we're talking about entrepreneurship, fill it in with whatever industry you're in. But many individuals get into entrepreneurship not realizing you're the CEO, the COO, the CMO, the CTO. So if there's anything that needs to happen, if it's technology, marketing, advertising, sales, you either need to become well versed in it or outsource that to someone else, or at least learn enough so that you can refocus your attention on what really drove you to get to that spot to
Mm-hmm.
begin with.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, yeah. We love our healer workers out in the world, our
Yes.
holistic folks that keep us all on track. So, what's
Absolutely.
next for you? What do you have on the horizon?
Yeah, we're planning physical locations. So I'm here in Southern California, Laguna Beach, and actually spent some years in Denver, Colorado. But
Okay.
that's actually where my wife went to school at a beautiful
Oh,
private
nice.
university there. And so
Yeah.
here in SoCal, there's a lot of opportunity. We're planning to open up might call it a wellness studio, kind of like, I mean, yoga studio
Oh,
simplifies
nice.
it, but yeah, opening up some physical spots so that people have a physical place to go to for their
Mm-hmm.
healing and their
Mm-hmm.
support, as well as just it works well with. We bring a lot of people to our retreats, as we were talking about, and it's just a nice way to serve more people. And the main thing is really training others. Like we're at a place now in our business where I'm never going to stop doing it. Some people are like, I got to work myself out of a job. I'm like, I never want to
Love what you
shut up
do.
about this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing this whether I'm making money or
Yeah.
not. I'm talking about this
Yeah.
stuff anyway. And so, really training people so that we can help more because we're not exactly at capacity, but 50 something clients, whatever it might be. There's a lot more people who want help and support. And so really
Mhm.
our next step is training other facilitators under us that can do what we do for
Yeah.
more and more people. And it's like when you taste something so delicious, all you want to do is tell everyone about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is so good. And
Yeah.
that's let's say the next iteration, two of the
That's
next
exciting.
iterations.
That
Yeah.
is very exciting. Well, do you have
Yeah.
words of wisdom for our listeners on, I guess, how to find your passion? I mean, you literally
Mhm.
stepped away from, like you said, you could have lived with your parents forever, was very comfortable, to go be a monk, to then come back and launch this. And now you're dedicated and you're passionate about helping other people do the same thing. What words of wisdom do you have for people?
Yeah, well, in one sentence, if I could do it, damn well sure you guys can do. It's like if you're listening to this, yeah,
I was going
if
to say
some
easier said than done because there's a
Yeah.
lot of what you did that kind of makes me break out in hives, but I'm
Yeah.
glad that you did it.
well, it is true. It is true.
Yeah.
I say that slightly jokingly, but I will say, if some like kind of punk kid was able to go from, my career pathway was construction management. That was
Okay.
I was a general contractor when I was 16 and 17 before becoming a monk. And or I was an apprentice. And if some kid who's just like had no purpose in life doesn't really I was on they put me on ADHD medication and anti-anxiety medication, and they had to give me sleeping medication because it kept me. And it was just this, it's
Wow.
just a concoction of unfortunate circumstances as a
Yeah.
child. And if I could do it, like you're all way better off than a 17-year-old kid in that situation. So anyway, that's the short version. What I would really say in a practical, like on a like what could somebody do today? Step
Mhm.
number one is acknowledge your gifts. And usually that means just like sit
Mm.
down, shut up, and write out all the things you're good at doing and that you
Yeah.
love doing. And
Yeah.
lock the door, tell everyone, leave me alone, and don't leave that room until you have that list. And then find the through line. Say like, okay, of all these things that I'd like to do that I'm good at, like what do I like to do the most? And what am I best at? And
Mm.
find that. And it's usually going to be one or two things for most of us. You might like you both, for instance, have a lot of great talents, but ultimately everyone, there's usually a couple things that peak out like
Yeah.
that. That's the thing I could see myself waking up every day excited to do. Once you've found that, the
Yeah.
next step is find someone who has created a life around
Love it.
said area. Because no matter how niche you think it is, there's people who've done
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have someone, I mean, we give all of our content for free. We give like we help with people implement, like people who don't want to have to do it themselves. That's when they hire us. But like in our free communities, we give all of our content freely so people could just take it. And so if you don't have, now you guys have no excuse. If you're like, I don't know anyone, you do now.
No excuse.
Like, right? There's a way in which like find somebody who's done the thing
Yeah.
and then model. Don't recreate the wheel, but acknowledge, accept the reality that it is possible for you to do what you want and be well supported while doing it. I would say it's more possible to do that than anything else because you're going to do that thing you want to do whether you make money or not. So better make money doing it anyway and do it in a way that actually improves the quality of others' lives. So figure out what you want to do that you're good at. Commit to it with the understanding it's possible and find someone that can help build a system around getting you supported in that way. And then before you, like worst case scenario, you're making what? A little money doing what you love? Like still a win in my book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
huge.
Because I am sure I know there are a lot of people that are in jobs right now. They just feel like they're just robotic. They're just showing up, but they have zero passion or love for what they're doing. And Natalie and I are very blessed that we get to do things that we love to do. So it never feels like we're working. But we just want people, our listeners, to be encouraged that, it's possible. You just have to believe that it's possible. And you're a testament to showing that it is possible. You were an 18-year-old kid that walked away from a very comfortable life to go be a monk sleeping on the floor and shaving your head. So it's possible.
Well, hey, ditto to you guys because this is the real testament. It's like it's theoretical, but then when you see it and you have people who I mean, I don't know if anyone would call us normal, but we're
It's been a while. It's been a
I
while.
said normal, right? Yeah, sure. We're definitely maybe abnormal, but it means
Yes.
we're like you guys, and that means there's nothing special in the way that whatever's special about us, like you guys, everyone listening, also has something special, and you just got to number one, accept the reality, and don't accept the story that you might have concocted when you were young, or that one person told you, or that there's two people when you were a kid, like whatever stories that might be there. Accept the reality, and that is you have a unique, special gift.
Yeah.
And you might say, I don't know what that is. No problem. Sit down and shut up until you figure out what that is.
Figure it out.
Lock the door.
Ask somebody else, because oftentimes other
Yes.
people can very easily tell you, oh, you're good at that.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant advice. I mean, brilliant advice. And figure out what that is.
Yeah.
And then just go for it and just be unabashed and just, I mean, one step further. There's no human that will ever be exactly like you. That's valuable enough.
yeah.
Even if you can't struggle to figure out, it's like there's no human that will ever have the unique makeup you have, from the DNA to the way your face looks to the way you talk to the way you like that in itself is special. And so figure out what you can do to contribute, improve the quality of others' lives, and just don't stop. Just keep moving. And one saying, I say this all the time. You guys could try this at home. You say this out loud and fall in love with this. It's a mantra. Got to get a guru. You got to get a guru. You got to get a guru.
Got to get a guru.
Got to get a guru. That's right. It's fun to say too. And find someone who's done the thing you want. And then just say, hey, Can you show me how to do it? Pretty please, with sugar on top. Got to get a guru. It's the best way. You want to become a great snowboarder? Find a great snowboarder. You want to become a great lawyer? Find a great lawyer. And in this way, know it's possible. And all you have to do is decide it's possible and move. Take
Yeah.
one step in the right direction.
And most of those people love to share it because they're passionate about it. So they have no problem sharing with you how they got to where they're at. I love
Exactly.
it. Beautiful.
That's great advice. So, for all of our listeners that are hearing this episode, you have one main objective. If you take nothing else away, turn off the noise, turn off the distractions, turn off that internal voice, figure out what you're passionate about to really help in figuring out the purpose, and then you got to get a guru.
Got to get a guru.
That's it. And then you've got to do the thing. I think that's the other big piece is like now that you've figured it out and you discovered it and you find the mentor, you've got to do the thing. Do the thing.
Yeah.
I think that's really key. Don't just sit on it. Do something.
Yeah. And if you have setbacks, don't let that stop you. Learn from it. It's an opportunity to grow and then just keep doing it because it will happen if you are truly passionate enough about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Madhu, do
Awesome.
you have any additional tips or words of wisdom for our listeners today?
It's okay if and when you're miserable. And just know that satisfaction and peace in life come from a place of service and contribution.
Mm.
And whenever you find yourself in those dips, in those times where things just feel so difficult, feels like you're moving through taffy, feels like how will I ever get past this? How will I ever overcome this?
Mm-hmm.
The next question to train the brain in that will allow more happiness and peace in life is, how could I contribute positively in someone else's life today, right now? And this is why you find people who have some of the most money in the world. What do? They spend their free time in philanthropic, volunteering activities, because no, those things aren't going to provide you happiness. Happiness comes from a place of service and connection. And whenever you're in those low lows, not only do you have people like the three of us in your corner to support you, and I'm sure you have many more, but at least three here. You can't say you have no one, you got three here. But in addition to that, try the medicine of service out and then watch your life continue to transform for the better.
Love it.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. I think that's a beautiful landing point for us today. That was powerful. I am just blown away. Thank you for sharing your personal story. Thank you for giving us business tips. I think this is fabulous for all of our listeners and for us, for Pam and I as well. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to connect?
Yeah, on all platforms, it's Madhu, Madhu, .life, Life, Madhu.life. You can find us. You pick a card, any card will do, any platform. That's our website. That's all our social channels, etc. And we have all of our content for free. Can we give it intentionally? Because there are a lot of people who just be like, give me the goods and let me run with it. And let me. And so let's do something special. And I want you guys to pick you guys can pick a trigger word. And if somebody sends us this trigger word, then what we'll do is not only give you access to our full content, but there's even something we're coming up with, which is like an extension of, we call it the monk mindset method. It's something we've developed that we've kind of recently revised, which is a step-by-step protocol for overcoming limiting beliefs within the mind. And so I'll send that as well, but they have to send a trigger word. What would be a good trigger word for them to send?
It's resilience. I mean, what other word
that
would
thought
that
as
be?
Easy.
I also had that thought. So if you send me the word resilience on any platform, that's, on our website, on our social media, send me the word resilience. I'll know to not only give you access to all our content for free, but also to make sure that even before we launch this monk mindset training, that you get access to that as well.
I love it.
Thank you. What a gift. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Thank
love
you for all that
this.
you guys are doing. Just for those not familiar, what it takes to keep something like this going, it's miraculous. The consistency, the amount of charisma that you guys bring into the screen, we're all highly benefited from it. So thank you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, for our listeners, we will make sure that we tag all of the platforms and the website, and we will remind you that if you send over the word resilience, you'll have a couple of bonus tools that you can apply to your life moving forward. And as usual, if you all are interested and curious about what's happening in the world of Reignite Resilience, head on over to reigniteresilience.com and remember to subscribe to our weekly Think Letter. We have received so much positive feedback about our Think Letter. It is jam-packed with tools and resources and action items for you to take to help you continue to ignite the fire within. So until next time, we will see you all soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for joining us today on the Reignite Resilience podcast. We hope you had some aha moments and learned a few new real-life ideas to fuel the flames of passion. Please subscribe on your favorite streaming platform, like or download your favorite episodes, and of course, share with your friends and family. We look forward to seeing you again next time on Reignite Resilience.